So at that point of time, my father was appointed as a dean of IP University, law school. And she was doing very good in litigation. And all of a sudden she came and she said that my family is saying that, you cannot be in this profession for long because of the timings, because then tomorrow you will have family. You won't be able to devote time to your kids, your husband and the home.
Is there mom guilt if you leave your kids behind and you're working very hard?
For a long time, many people even used to tell my father that, okay, fine, now she might be doing good and all, but tomorrow once she will get married, then what?
And I've also seen that a lot of women join the legal profession, but they cannot last.
They have to focus on the work that is being given to them. Just concentrate on that. Ignore whatever everybody else is saying, either the relatives, family, your seniors, that you cannot last in this. This is very difficult. You cannot stay in office after 10 p.m. and all that, so you cannot do. So you have to put on those blinkers. He told me that you do one thing, you sit for the entrance exam and then you can be in my college. So I told him, see, people say that I am very good in studies. So if I will join your college, I will get good marks and then they will say, Dean ki beti hai, she is daughter of Dean.
Hi everyone, Namaste. Welcome to yet another episode of Chai Pe Career, the podcast for Gen Z and millennials to find out about how they can build their careers. And today I have a very special guest. She's an advocate on record in the Supreme Court of India. That is Advocate Firdause Quth Wani. And another very interesting thing about her is that she is the first Kashmiri Muslim woman AOR for the Supreme Court. She has been recognized by Forbes as one of the top 100 influential women leaders of India. And she's done some amazing work in the legal era. And I would love to know from you about your journey so far, about, how you came here. So let's start from your childhood. Where were you born? How did you grow up? Where did you do your schooling and college from?
First, I should thank you for having me. And because this, I think, would be a great opportunity for me to interact with your audience and talk about not only myself, but also about the career that the Gen Z can build. So I am basically from Kashmir, and my father, he has been in the legal fraternity itself. So I was born in Kashmir, sort of brought up there till I was 11 years old. Then my father was in AMU. So there for almost for 4 or 5 years we were there.
And that's Aligarh Muslim
Yes, Aligarh Muslim University. After that he was in Delhi. So I would say that from my class 11th up till now I am here only. So my schooling sort of, and as well as my college, everything has happened here. So as far as my childhood goes, because I told you my father, he has been member of Law Commission of India as well. So in Kashmir, when I was very small, we used to see in our drawing rooms that a huge library of books for my father. And the visitors were mostly law students and the judges. So sort of an environment was there where I always felt that, I would be a lawyer. But somehow, now it has changed, but there was a time when, everybody wanted a child who was good in studies to be to join either medical line or go for engineering. So I was good in studies, that's what my kin says. So my father told me, it's okay, you want to be a lawyer. But okay, you can, in class 11th, you can go for medical line. So I had physics, chemistry, bio. But once I finished my class 12, then I told my father I am not going to sit for any of the medical entrance exams or engineering all, because I want to be a lawyer. So that's when I joined. So somehow I feel that the environment and the way my father actually, or my mother also, they never pressurized me to be into that cliche. So I chose this field and it sort of runs in my blood. So this is how.
And you did your college?
I did my college from Jamia. And there is an interesting story behind this, that when I finished my class 12, so at that point of time, my father was appointed as a dean of IP University, law school. And he told me that you do one thing, you sit for the entrance exam and then you can be in my college. So I told him, see, people say that I am very good in studies. So if I will join your college, I will get good marks, and then they will say, Dean ki beti hai, she's daughter of Dean, and
So you didn't want that partiality.
Yeah. And I told him, I don't want to be under your nose every now and then. So
I think that's the main reason. You just wanted not to be under his nose.
That is true. So at that time we had this LLB, 5 years LLB in NLS Bangalore. We had in Jamia, and I think MET it was. So I didn't want to go to Bangalore, because I had heard from people, the more nearer you are to Supreme Court, so it sort of pulls you. So you stay here only. So I told my father I will, then I sat for Jamia. And in the entrance examination, my rank was second. So I joined there in very good faculty, and I still remember Professor Gupta. Now we have this Professor K. Kashan, Usat Parveen. Many of them are there. Professor Yazdani, Asad Malik, all these professors. They sort of, encouraged me, and somehow, because my father also was a big name in the legal fraternity, so somehow I always felt, I have this sort of to carry the legacy. Although not the first, he wasn't in the law profession, but he was in the academics, and I am first gen lawyer. But somehow I had this that, no, I have to do something different in this. And every time there was a challenge, not because law is something, it's difficult or something, but because I was a woman. Because, during my internships also with Jamia allowed that you can, every year we had these 2 internships that we could go for. So while I was I have interned with very renowned people like K.K. Venugopal, who has been in Supreme Court, and then Mr. K.T.S. Tulsi, who's also a member of parliament.
Yeah.
So with these big names, I interned. And I always felt that only few females are there in the stream.
So why do you think so? Why is it that, and I've also seen that a lot of women join the legal profession, but they cannot last.
Yes.
They leave the legal profession.
Yes.
And why do you think that is the case?
Before I come to that, I will tell you, there was just last 2 years back or last year, there was this very nice girl who joined my office, and we sort of groomed her, and she was doing very good in litigation, and all of a sudden she came and she said that my family is saying that, you cannot be in this profession for long because of the timings, because then tomorrow you will have family, you won't be able to devote time to your kids, your husband and the home. So I tried to, guide her and tried to mentor her and tried to make her understand that even I am doing this. But somehow I failed. I still feel bad about it, and she left the profession. So many a times what I feel is, and after I've interacted with so many people, somehow we feel, and that is truth also, that it's a male-dominated profession. For the simple reason, because we females, we sort of either get dodged by the men, they suppress us. That's very true. We are not able to confront everyone. Second is the family pressure that comes in. Now, I am very fond of, and I am fan of, and I even follow Justice Leela Seth. She is no more with us. She was the first judge of Delhi High Court. And there is a book she has written, and it's named Balance. So, wherein she has actually talked about the balance between this profession and the children, the family you have. So, now what happens is that for a long time, many people even used to tell my father that, okay, fine, now she might be doing good and all, but tomorrow once she will get married, then what? So, fortunately, I chose a man who supported me. This is truth. With any other profession also, not only with the legal profession, that they expect that a woman has to take care of the children, of the home, and even I do not shy away from accepting this, that is truth. Because the way a woman is organized and the care and tenderness she has, only she can take care of children.
Absolutely.
So I do not run away from this fact. The way children are attached to me, maybe they are not attached that way to their father. Yes, they are, but so, and the care. Today we have men who are taking care of children also. But at the same time, somehow I feel that, even the woman, she, I have brought out a child from my womb, I don't want somebody else, to get too close to that child also. That feeling is also there. So somehow I feel there are three things which probably women are not doing, because of which they are not lasting in the profession. One is that they have to focus on the work that is being given to them. Just concentrate on that. Ignore whatever everybody else is saying, either the relatives, family, your seniors, that you cannot last in this. This is very difficult. You cannot stay in office after 10 p.m. and all that, so you cannot do. So you have to put on those blinkers. The horses, they have those blinkers. You have to just focus on this. Second is that you have to understand this, that option when you have to marry, it should not be just an option that, you are getting married, so career is gone. So just look for the men who can actually support you. It's very important. Like they say that, a child is actually brought up by the whole village. Whole village takes to raise a child.
Yeah.
Similarly, for a career of a woman, I'm not saying that a woman is a class 2 citizen. No, problem is that we cannot ignore this fact that the women have been actually suppressed from the ages. And one day there was this person who actually told me that, why is this that, you only talk about crime against women, that the women is being abused by their husbands. So I asked him, I said, how many men have you seen that they're burned by their wives? Yeah. They're killed by their wives. I understand that even men are troubled by women. We see cases also. But the issue that, women has been treated as a class 2 citizen, that is fact is there. So therefore, to develop or build a career of a woman, the whole family has to support her. That's very important. And the most important thing is, the support has to come from the parents. And once she gets married, from her mother-in-law, father-in-law, husband. So I do not really want to talk about the transgenders or LGBTQ, but what has happened that any person who actually identifies himself as a gay or as a transgender, why are they mostly in a very troublesome situation? Problem is they're actually fighting against their family, because family is not supporting.
Yeah.
So they have to convince their family. If anybody's family is supporting them, they ignore everyone else. There are females who do not want to go for marriage. Once the family says we are okay with it, whatever you want, they ignore everyone else. So similarly, when a woman is focusing on her career, if the support comes from the parents, from
then her in-laws, she will sludge.
Yes, and ultimately the children also. So with me, what happened, the marriage, husband was very good, he supported me. And many people say that you do not need support and all that. See, I do not buy that. Even men need support. That is why this proverb, this saying is there, behind every successful man, there is a woman. So a woman can be wife, sister, girlfriend, wife, whosoever, mother. But somebody you cannot. I believe in teamwork. Here in litigation also, until unless team is there supporting you, you can't do anything. So after I delivered my first child, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I actually thought that whether I would be able to do it or not. So what happened was that my husband, he picked up my child. I had to go for an arbitration matter. He picked up my child. He told me that, no, you read your files. And he told me that you have to go for this arbitration, because you have to convince yourself that you still have it in you. So he pushed me. I went for the arbitration, and you won't believe, while I was arguing the matter, I was just on cloud 9, because that is what gives me kick. So ultimately, sometimes, yes, the regret is always there, or the guilt is always there. You're not able to.
I was going to come to that. Is there mom guilt if you leave your kids behind and you're working very hard?
We cannot deny that it's not there. But at the end of the day, I remember that once I was on some TV channel and I had to leave behind my child. She was just 2.5 at that point of time, my elder one. And when I came back, so she was like, her eyes were twinkling, and my mother-in-law told me that, she was so happy. She was just pointing towards the TV and she was like, Mama, Mama. And I remember once I was traveling in the car, and my daughter told me that, oh, I think you are on that poster. I wasn't on that, but now she feels that, she is someone, and while I used to argue virtually also during the COVID period, she used to get quite impressed and all. So somewhere I felt I have actually sort of made her think that your career doesn't end once you get married or once you have children, because she is also a girl. Tomorrow she would be a woman and she would be focusing. I will be telling her, no, you focus on this, and she would be trying to make something out of herself, an artist or a lawyer, whatever she wants to be. But if she would see me sitting after, spending so much of time on this and then ultimately thinking, okay, no, I should sit back. So somewhere I have prepared her, or now it is her mentality, her thought process, that it is not only men who can go out.
And in fact, I should tell the listeners that, when I came to her office for the first time, I saw that her child was also in the office. And in fact, her daughter has created her own mini office within the office in the firm. And she, on the door, she's created the initials of her own firm's name. The daughter's and your son's names are there on the door. So, and today also both the kids are in here while we are shooting this. And I love the way that you have, brought your family to the workplace and you're integrating it, of course, because you have your own practice, you're able to do it. And many women who are employed may not be able to be that comfortable telling their employers, but it is a message for employers also that let them do that, because if women are able to bring their families to the work, then it becomes easier for them sometimes, right? If they don't have a nanny at home or someone to keep it, then they can always bring their kids to the workplace, and that's also inspiring for the kids to see their parents.
Very inspiring. I will tell you that at my home also I have a home office, and my kid's nanny, sometimes she tells me that her daughter is not well, or she cannot leave child behind. I tell her, bring them. So my daughter tells her that, okay, my home is actually your office. The way we go to mama's office, so your children are also coming, and they're very fond of each other. Their children are fond of my children. They play also together. So somehow I feel that, you have to let go these barriers. Now, for example, I have not spoken about my mother yet, because my mother was the one who was too much involved into my daughter, because I was first time mother and all that, and she took care. And normally, it is that, it's your mother who is taking care of the children, not your mother-in-law. But in my case, it is that both of them are taking care. So I have seen many people, they say that, you cannot trust your mother-in-law with your children. But somehow I did not believe in that. And my mother-in-law is taking good care of my children. She's enjoying.
And you're not just saying this for the camera.
No, I am not saying this for the camera. She is very fond of me, and everybody knows this. Because, ultimately I feel that if you will keep on focusing on all these traditional myths and, the traditional way of thinking of a woman, then you can't be where you actually want to. You have to give away all this. Because my child is my mother-in-law's grandson or granddaughter and child of her own child. And somewhere, if I will keep on thinking on those stupid things, I would say, then I cannot focus on the rest of the things that I am actually required to be focused on. So it's very important that a woman should... now, yes, there are families where the mother-in-law is not that good. So now we have in High Court also, Delhi High Court, we have this creches there. In the morning, you can drop your child till 6 p.m. and they are taking good care. Now, yes, many mothers would say that why you want your child to be taken care. In that situation, what happens is that then you will have to sort of chalk out your schedule. So there was a time when I sort of reduced my work, because I would say that if you're bringing a life into this world, you have to contribute. Now, my daughter, I teach her myself. I do not have any tutor for her. So I tried to, get that time for her, and then I also need to give time to them, because ultimately I want that whatever my thought process is, I do not want her to be like me, but the thought process or certain things which I want that this should develop into her. So I have to spend time with her. So now, if she would do some kind of a mistake, normally what happens is that I will tell her, okay, this is wrong, and little bit. I will not exaggerate it, because then I feel that, the time will get wasted. So one thing I have felt is this, not that housewives do not do this, but I have seen a woman who is working, whatever time she will get with the child, it's mostly qualitative time, because she knows that what this time is worth. She would not get 18 hours or 12 hours with the child. She will get 6 hours, 5 hours. So she uses it very, cleverly, and she would see that the child would remain attached to her, and she would be able to give something to the child. So I think it is not that if you're working, but in this profession, at least I will say, now in every profession, you work for almost 18 hours. If you are,
I think that is mostly law. 18 hours is not normal, but yeah, I'm sure it's law.
I wake up at 4 in the morning, and then I read some of my files. Around 5:30, we have this namaz in the morning, so I will pray. Then I do some yoga for 15-20 minutes, and my daughter gets up and she has to get prepared and everything. Then my son gets up, and then I again will read files and all. So one day when somebody told me that, why is it that you sleep for less time? So I told him, like Shah Rukh Khan only, that, once you die, then you are sleeping. So till my eyes are, because I feel that if I'm getting work, and ultimately if God has given me kids also, that is also a phase where you enjoy. Everybody doesn't get that. So I'm grateful. So gratitude is something which I feel, it keeps me going on. I do feel tired. I feel frustrated. Sometimes the frustration comes out on the children also, on my mother-in-law, my husband. Everybody has to bear me. But somehow I feel that we should be grateful. Even if you are in some trouble, means that, God is actually thinking of you. That is why the trouble is on you.
अच्छा, एक और चीज़ हमने मतलब we'll also speak a little bit in हिंदी. तो कश्मीर के बारे में कुछ बोलिए, क्योंकि you've grown up in Kashmir, and that's a very interesting thing. You've seen Kashmir, you've seen outside Kashmir.
Yes.
और कश्मीर के बारे में लोग सोचते हैं कि वहाँ पे women are very suppressed, या लोगों को इतना opportunities नहीं है और वो कुछ कर नहीं पा रहे, वहाँ पे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है. तो हम मूवीज में देखते हैं कि वहाँ पे सिर्फ लड़ाई हो रही है और ये सारी चीज़ें. तो आप बताइए कि कश्मीर का जो ये इमेज है, लेकिन आप एक कश्मीरी औरत होते हुए you've come out and you've worked,
Yes.
right? तो इसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए, that is that a correct thing, or what is the real picture of Kashmir and the women of Kashmir?
We are not talking about the current time. Even if we will talk about, say, 30-40 years back. So even that point of time, the women in Kashmir, जो वहाँ की औरतें थी, अगर हैंडीक्राफ्ट्स ही हैं, वो काम करती थी. और जहाँ तक पढ़ाई की बात है, तो पढ़ाई के उसमें मामले में मुझे लगता है कि आपको हर घर में वहाँ लिटरेट विमेन मिलेंगी. हाँ, कुछ रिमोट एरियाज़ हैं जहाँ पढ़ाई नहीं हुई है, मगर फिर भी किसी ना कुछ स्किल तो है वहाँ पे. ये हमेशा रहा है कि मैंने शुरुआत से देखा है. दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि मैंने ये देखा है कि कश्मीर से बाहर, चाहे मैं मुसलमान की बात करूँ या मैं हिंदूज़ की बात करूँ, बोथ कम्युनिटीज़, मैरिज इज समथिंग वेयर प्रेशर इज पुट ऑन द फीमेल्स. बहुत प्रेशराइज करते हैं लड़कियों को. और अगर पेरेंट्स को ये भी पता होता है कि ये अपने करियर में बहुत अच्छा करेगी, तो मैंने कई पेरेंट्स को सुना है ये कहते हुए कि नहीं, एक बार शादी होगी फिर करते रहना. और
मेरे पेरेंट्स भी ऐसे बोलते हैं. So this is a message I think for my parents.
Like, she is doing great, so you should not force her and she will get many. So अच्छा, तो मैंने ये देखा जब मैं कश्मीर से बाहर, क्योंकि I sometimes call myself I am global citizen because I have been to so many places and all, grown up different places. So कश्मीर में मैंने ये देखा कि वहाँ होता है प्रेशराइज, वहाँ भी होता है, बट इतने एक्सटेंट पे नहीं होता है. दूसरी चीज़, वहाँ पे कोशिश करते हैं कि एटलीस्ट लड़की ग्रेजुएशन तो करे. अब मैंने एक चीज़ और देखी वहाँ पे, जो मैरिजेबल एज है आज से 20-30 साल पहले, 30, 31, 32, जब मैंने अलीगढ़ में देखा, दिल्ली में देखा, यूपी के कई सारे एरियाज़ में देखा, इनफैक्ट साउथ में भी देखा, बेंगलुरु, चेन्नई एंड ऑल दीज प्लेसेस, वो कोशिश करते हैं 24 साल की है तो आप शादी, फिर तो लड़के नहीं मिलेंगे, ख़त्म. फिर या तो डिवोर्स ही मिलेगा, या तो फिर आपको विडोवर मिलेगा, या तो कोई ऐसे मिलेगा, सेकंड क्लास वाला मिलेगा. सो बट कश्मीर में ऐसा नहीं है. और आप वहाँ देखेंगे मैक्सिमम जो घर है, बिकॉज फैक्ट्रीज, कंपनीज, कॉरपोरेशन, ऑल दीज वर नॉट देयर. नाउ दे आर कमिंग अप. So mostly the government services were there and people used to focus on that, or either you have to be engineer or a doctor. तो business का काफ़ी कम था. तो अब वो चेंज हो गया है. तो वहाँ पे आप देखेंगे हर घर में आपको एक ना एक लड़की मिलेगी जो सरकारी नौकरी करती है. केएस, कश्मीर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विसेज में आप इतनी फीमेल्स को देखेंगे. आप देखेंगे वहाँ पे एक डिस्टर्ब्ड एरा था जब स्कूल जाना बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता था. हर दूसरे दिन हड़ताल है या कहीं फायरिंग हो रही है, somebody has been killed or something. So what had happened what used to happen actually those days, कि ना कि सिर्फ लड़कों को बल्कि लड़कियों को भी उनके पेरेंट्स बोर्डिंग भेज देते थे. दार्जिलिंग, शिमला, दिल्ली, the south part of the country, all the good schools. So in fact I myself was in boarding and we were almost say 15-20 girls from Kashmir itself. So कहीं काफ़ी ये देखा है मैंने. तो मुझे यहाँ हैरानी होती थी. ये लोग कहते थे कि नहीं कश्मीर में तो बिल्कुल ही डाउन ट्रोडन, वहाँ तो औरतों को मतलब एक होता है ना स्कार्फ आप ओढ़ते हो या आप कुर्ता पजामा इंडियन वेयर. अब मैंने देखा कई सारे वायरल वीडियोस में भी देखा है मैंने. IAS ऑफिसर है, शी इज़ वेयरिंग साड़ी. सो ए गर्ल यू नो who is into western, although I also wear western, but you know she tries to tell her that you are in sari. So वो वैसा नहीं है. If you the attire cannot really describe that, you know. And I also tell many people who would say that you know you cover your head. So I say, don't judge by this, judge by my head. So I will tell you this. Once I was in High Court and there was this female who came to me and she sort of asked me something about her matter. She was some unknown female. तो मैंने उन्हें बताया उनके केस के बारे में. हाँ अच्छा ठीक है, एडवाइस किया. सो शी वाज लाइक यू आर सो गुड, आई सॉ यू इनसाइड इन द कोर्ट रूम आल्सो, यू आर आर्ग्यूइंग सो वेल, व्हाई डू यू कवर योर हेड. सो ये सप्रेशन का निशानी है और पेरेंट्स एंड ऑल. आई सेड आई विल टेल यू जस्ट वन थिंग, अगर मेरे पेरेंट्स मुझे सप्रेस कर रहे होते तो इतना पढ़ाते नहीं और मैं यहाँ खड़ी नहीं होती. शी सेड ओके दिस इज गुड इनफ आंसर फॉर मी. आई वाज लाइक दिस इज मे बी द religious thing, let's not make it controversial or it's cultural, whatever it is. So it's my choice. तो मुझे लगता है कश्मीर का भी एक जो कल्चरल एक वो है उसको लोग सोचते हैं कि शायद यहाँ पे फीमेल्स अच्छा नहीं करती होंगी. बट वी हैव सो मेनी इन्फ्लुएंसर्स फ्रॉम देयर. फीमेल्स आर इनटू रेडियो, इन TV, they are into businesses, they are in law, they are into everything. I think they are engineers, they are doctors, they are into administrative services. So somehow that has not come out yet. Now Instagram and Facebook, social media से अब हल्के हल्के ये चीज़ें बाहर आ रही हैं. So we have so many female judges there. मतलब हैरानी होती है लोगों को देख के कि अच्छा इतनी सारी फीमेल जजेस हैं वहाँ, so many female. So मैंने आपको बताया वहाँ फोकस शुरुआत से रहा है of the parents, that because you don't know, once you marry a girl maybe she will get divorced tomorrow, maybe the husband dies, maybe something else happens and then she is not literate, she does not know, she has no skill. तो क्या करेंगी. तो वहाँ हमेशा फोकस रहा है शुरुआत से.
सो बेसिकली मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया ने जो कवरेज किया है वो पूरा दैट्स नॉट द फुल स्टोरी. एंड आप बोल रहे हो कि पहले से ही विमेन वर वेरी एम्पावर्ड. एंड उनकी शादी भी लेट से ही होती थी.
हाँ लेट से होती थी. जो वी यूज्ड टू फिनिश. आई विल टेल यू दैट वंस आई केम टू दिस पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री एंड आई सॉ दैट the girls are being married when they're still in their class 11, 12, and some of the females after getting married are studying. You know, they are doing their graduation and post graduation post their marriage. तो ये मुझे इस बात का तस्वुर मतलब हमने इमेजिन नहीं किया था कि अच्छा शादी के बाद पढ़ते हैं. हमारा ये हमेशा था कि शादी से पहले पूरा, बिकॉज कश्मीर में इट इज़ लाइक दैट, यू विल डू योर PhD ऑल्सो एंड देन दे विल फोकस ऑन द मैरिज. Because there, the groom also, the groom's family, they won't go on the age. They would say, okay, what are the qualifications and what she knows and what she does. So that has been always there. अगर आपकी न्यूक्लियर फैमिली भी है, अलग से ही रह रहे हो, आपका सपोर्ट नहीं है, आप हेल्पर रख रहे हो नहीं रख रहे हो, उससे फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. वहाँ ये कि आप कुछ कर रहे होने चाहिए. एंड देन द हैंडीक्राफ्ट्स एंड ऑल, मोस्टली फीमेल्स वर देयर इन इट. शुरुआत से औरतें वो बुनती थी. आप इतना पश्मीना शॉल्स हैं आपके, it's mostly females. So I have seen some of the females they have learned this art from their mothers, from their mother-in-laws.
It's been passed on by women only.
Yes. So they would do this at their homes only. They will take, say that we will make 3 shawls in month's time, 2 months time, because it takes time. They get money and they will use that money for their children, for themselves, maybe for the home also. And they're very happy about it. Even if husband is earning very good, they say that financial independence is very important for a woman. Husband is necessarily, he has to pay for the wife and for the children. That is there. But ये जो अपना पैसा होता है ना, अपना पैसा आप कमा के उससे कुछ खरीदते हो, and you give it to your child also, or you buy a gift for your husband using your own money, उसका मजा ही अलग है. So somehow I think this thought process has been in Kashmir since ages. So it goes for both Kashmiri Pandits as well as for the Kashmiri Muslims. Somehow I have seen for both the parties it has been there.
And do you think that both the religions are coexisting अच्छे से?
Oh, wonderfully. In fact, one day I saw this Sardarji, he was speaking in Kashmiri. So I was in awe. I was just staring at him. What happened? Like, normally, we don't, people think that, Sikhs are not here or Hindus are no more staying here and all. But yes, they do coexist like beautifully. And I will tell you that when I was very small, I was say 3 or 4 year old. So my mother's friend, he was a Kashmiri Pandit. He was his classmate. And somehow my father also got, because my father was into academics, he was in university. So my father and he got adjacent houses. So Sarla auntie, I remember. And uncles, we used to call him Pupa uncle. I don't know what his real name was. So they did not have the child. And I used to be in their house throughout, whole day. And one fine morning, I saw a small child was at their home. So a child was born in the family.
So you were jealous?
Yes, I was jealous. And you won't believe this, that normally like my son was born. So we tried to make our elder one feel, it's okay, you are the important one. I wasn't their own daughter, but they made me feel so special that whenever I used to go to their house, they used to keep that child aside. So you are our daughter. So this kind of relationship was there.
Okay. And they were Sikh?
No, they were Hindus. They were Kashmiri Pandits. Sikhs also, it is all same. They will speak in Kashmir. The moment we see them, even here the Kashmiri Pandits, I have so many Kashmiri friends who are Pandits, and we will speak in Kashmiri, which is sometimes...
It's a beautiful language.
Yes. No, but many people say, when you guys come together, you start speaking in Kashmiri. Don't do this.
You say 2 lines in Kashmiri.
What would I say? That let me say in Kashmiri that, I love Kashmir. Dimha pan when the Kashmiras, that I would give my life for Kashmir. It makes me emotional. For every Kashmiri, the motherland, the Kashmir, it is somehow, somehow our core is made of it. We feel very emotional about it. Wherever in the country or in the world we would be. And if we will see some Kashmiri, hardly matters whether a Kashmiri Pandit, Sikh or a Muslim. You just hear their voice and I think that is for the rest of the people also states. So my husband's hometown, I went there and someone told me that, a Kashmiri, a guy has married a Kashmiri and she's there. So I said, okay, fine, I would want to meet her. The moment I saw her and she saw me, we were just, we just hugged each other and we cried so much. So everybody was like, what is happening? I said, I don't know. The smell of Kashmir, and it makes us emotional.
And it's a beautiful place. I mean, they say it's a heaven on earth. I haven't been there, but I would love to go sometime.
Nah, you are, whenever you want to go, you just let me know.
Sure.
Be my guest.
Sure.
Yeah.
और फिर law के बारे में थोड़ा बात करते हैं, the legal profession. And you've been in it for more than 15 years.
Yes.
आपने बहुत कुछ देखा है इसमें.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that clients, when they came, they wanted to see a male lawyer? And then it was you, and did you face that kind of discrimination, or it was normal, like एकदम से कोई problem नहीं है?
No. This has been always there. I had read it in a number of books because there are a number of lawyers who would write about their journeys. So I had read something which Mr. I think Shradul Shroff has written, or his wife has written, Pallavi Shroff. Somewhere I had read it that, there was someone who had to be cross-examined, but the client wanted that sir should do it, but he told him, no, my wife will do, and all that. So I had read it. So I thought, no, it is something, okay, they're very senior people now, the times have changed and all that. But once I sort of became independent, so my senior with whom my guru, Mr. Mukund, he's also from South, and he has sort of groomed me.
Who is that?
Mr. Chirukuri Mukund.
Okay.
Yes. So he called me and he said that, there is this client and I would want you to take up his matter. I said, okay, very well. So they told him that there is this Firdause Wani and she would be handling your case. Now my name is gender neutral.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe that person, he was a baniya. I have no offense to baniyas, but I still remember. So he said, okay, ठीक है, tomorrow we will meet the lawyer. ऐसा बोला कि वो clear नहीं हो पाया whether they are meeting a male or a female. So next day when they came, they saw me, and they might have felt that, okay, she might be some junior or something, or the male might be coming. So I told him, yes, what is the case and all that. So the person was like, okay, you would be doing the matter. I said, yes. So that is what Mr. Mukund might have told us. He said, no, but वो तो कोई Firdaus, मैंने कहा मैं हूँ. So they said, okay, give us a minute and something. They started calling him. He came also. Then they told him that, a woman, we would not want a woman, because woman can't be that aggressive and adamant on certain things. She might be arguing good and all that, but she cannot do our case. We would go for a male and all that. So Mr. Mukund, he has been always kind to me, and he is someone, he does not believe into this male-female wala thing, and he's a gem. So he told them, if you want that your case should be done by this office, then she would be doing it, or otherwise go wherever you want to. Their problem was that this was almost 8 in the evening, and next day their matter was listed.
So they didn't have an option.
They did not have any option. So they spoke to each other and all that, and they briefed me. But throughout the brief, they gave me a very cold shoulder, and I was feeling very bad. I sometimes think that had this passion and fire not been there, maybe I would have left profession then and there only, because the humility, it was like they humiliated me. Fine. And so finally what happened was that next day I went to the court and I argued their matter. Somehow God's doing that, I got a stay order in their favor. And I went out and I tried not to speak to them. And then they stopped me, madam, chai and wo sab kuch. I said, no, it's okay, theek hai, and you can now go for some other lawyer. They said, no, ma'am, we are very sorry, and we felt that, but the way you were shouting at the other side and everything. I said, who made you feel this? They said, no, but हमने तो ये देखा है कि female जो है वो, and that is to certain extent ऐसा होता भी है, पता नहीं. Female, sometimes they feel that they won't be able to, do things.
I think women sometimes feel that if they assert themselves,
yes,
तो वो feminine नहीं है.
Yes.
They are told that if you are feminine, you have to be little sehmi-si, the but that is not the case. You can make your point and you can still be a very feminine woman. There's no problem, but ऐसा होता है.
And somehow I feel, because, the macho-ness, the male, it's always that, he can actually sort of bring down the other, because when you are mostly, unfortunately, it is the men. So if there is a case where there's a woman, opposite side is a man. So normally, most of the time, the judges are also men. Now it has changed to a large extent. So they feel maybe she won't be able to.
Then they were.
So yes. That has been an issue.
Yeah, so they were apologetic,
yes,
which is a good thing. You could change their mind.
Yes.
And that's a very, interesting thing.
Yes.
And you have been lucky that आपकी जो शादी हुई है, आपके husband की भी पेशा वकालत है, and you kind of work together
Yes.
also. There are women जो they may not marry a lawyer.
Yes.
और वो अपने घर पे क्या बोले कि रात को 10 बजे तक मुझे ब्रीफ करना है या चेम्बर में रहना है. That becomes a problem.
Yes.
So yes, you said that the supportive
very
environment needs to be there.
Yes.
How can they build that kind of an environment when the other side does not understand कि legal profession है ही क्या?
Yes.
It's a demanding profession,
Yes.
right? वो जो बोलते हैं law is a demanding mistress.
Yes.
Right? So I know that lawyers spend रात को 2 बजे 3 बजे तक बाहर रहते हैं और ये करते हैं. How many of such nights have you spent कि रात को 2 बजे तक भी फाइल्स करनी है या ड्राफ्टिंग?
See, if I will go back to years I have spent sitting in office at till 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, there have been number of nights. Because whatever I am today, it is not just a day's work. Yes, there has been support of my father, my mother. They have never sort of, they never even asked me that where have you been. And my husband also now. So yes, it's an added advantage that he's a lawyer. His family is aware that this is how the profession goes. But I have seen, because I appear for the government bodies, so I have seen number of IAS officers or these executive engineers or these government officials where the females are there. So I have seen, I still remember that we had very important matter and the team had come to brief me for the matter, and it was just say past 8 p.m. So the female started getting, she was the only female, very brilliant, and I had specially asked for her that she has to be there in the team and she will assist me. So her phone started ringing. Her husband is also in administrative service. I think maybe if she will watch this, she will understand that she's been talked about. So she started getting quite disturbed because she was getting calls from her husband that, where are you, this and that. I did not want to also tell her, okay, fine, ma'am, you can leave. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, if we want place herein, yes, the other side, they have to be sensitized. Because at times what happens is that my child is sick. So all the male people who are working in my office, or whosoever, is there a female and maybe the boss is male or the colleague is male, or not only for this profession, for any of the professions. So somewhere they should be sensitive enough to understand that, it's difficult for this woman and she should be allowed to go home and take care of the child. At the same time, maybe she can work from home. If it's too much of emergency, that time also, if the work is very important, some via media should be
Adjustments have to be made.
This is very important because unfortunately now this is an admitted situation that a woman has to take care of house also. It is there. Now she has come out, she's working out. So till this becomes woman's world, men, gender sensitivity, it has to be there. But what happens is that at the same time, you have to also see that, when you are fighting to make a place, you cannot be given this excuse. Many people will hate me for this, but you cannot always say this that, because I am a woman, I have to go early, you should understand this. Right.
So I have happened to that woman.
I did not tell her that you should leave. I told her that after some time I asked her who's calling. She said, my husband is calling and he's asking me why you are getting late and all. I said, put your phone on speaker and tell me why you are getting late. And had he not been in his office for more than now, after 10 p.m. or 8 p.m. and so. And she was even on deputation to other state also at one point of time. So I told her that you have worked outside the state also. You left your children in, with your mother-in-law and all that. So itna jab encouragement and support hua, usse kya hota hai that a female thinks that she has a supportive family. So she would keep on climbing the ladder. But when she is at the top of the ladder, then you will start calling her, why are you getting late? Because now she is at a very high position where she has to stay in office beyond 10 p.m. or so. If you would not have supported her, she would not have climbed it. She would have stayed here only.
There's a very funny story when Indra Nooyi, who was the global chairperson of PepsiCo.
Yeah.
So when she became that, got that position, on the same day when she went home, her mother-in-law was on the foot of the door and she was like, "Why are you late?" She said, "You know what happened?" She said, "I don't want to know. Have you brought the milk?" Outside this house, you are what you are. But when you step inside this house, you are the mother and you're the wife. So it doesn't matter if you're the global CEO of Pepsi or whatever, you are a mother and a wife first. So have you brought the milk is the question. You have to answer that.
Okay. But somehow, fortunately, I have got a very good mother-in-law.
You said that too many times. Now I'm beginning to suspect ki itna pyar kya hai?
I will tell you something, if we have help at home, but I make very good tea and I'm a very good cook.
Oh wow.
Sometime I will cook for you. Please. So
Kashmiri.
Whatever you would say.
Gushtaba?
Gushtaba, tabak maz, so many things are there. And you won't believe this, that till I got married, I never knew how to cook. My mother always told me that you are good in other things where you are focusing. The day you would want to focus on this, you will turn out good. That confidence and that support, it's very important. This is what she told me. So one day my husband was like, "Okay, can you make a cup of tea for me?" So my mother-in-law was like, "You know what? She is a advocate on record, Supreme Court of India. You're telling her to make tea for you. Even she is very tired." I was like, "No, Mama, I will make tea for him. Don't worry." So that thing is in her. She has been always like that.
Supportive of your career.
Yes. I don't know whether she got that support from her in-laws or not, but she wants to give me that support, because she says that when I see that there is a passion and fire in someone, I should try to help. And ultimately they will say ki iski bahu to ye ban gayi, iski bahu that would be somehow, I don't know, when you are in the same house, differences are there, but at the end of the day, the love, it sort of keeps you intact. That is why I feel somewhere that my success or wherever I am, it's not only mine,
it's your family's also.
Yes. That's why I told you also that there is this, that I do not want to leave my child with my mother-in-law. I do not want this, that. Many females, they do not want their mothers also take care of their child. Ab mat suno unki when they are advising you on certain things. You do your own thing. But at the end of the day, if you will sort of throw away everybody out, then you will have to do that thing yourself. Then you cannot focus on the big goal. Secondly, when you are successful also, if you have thrown out everyone outside, you cannot enjoy with yourself, no? Yeah. Your success, you want to enjoy with the
the people around
the people who actually are your blood, and maybe who are actually fond of you, who actually want to see your success. Har koi nahi chahta hai. There are many, with the mask on, that I am aware of. But at the end of the day, I somehow feel that you won't believe this. When my father-in-law was, before he left us, he was in ICU and he was unconscious. And then the nurses actually, they asked that who is Firdause? So they felt that he may be one of the sons. So they said, no, she's the daughter-in-law. They said while he was unconscious, and before leaving, before finally saying his last goodbye, in his sleep, he was just calling Firdause, Firdause. So, the kind of love they have given me. So, somehow I feel that is why when my second child was also born, I have never left my work. Till my last trimester and everything, last day. In fact, the day I delivered my second child, because I have to give opinions to the government bodies also. So till 3 or 4 in the morning, I wrote all the opinions with that labor pain on.
Yeah, this happened very recently in my team. Okay. Someone who works with me, she's a woman. She went to deliver a baby. And literally she called me at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And she said, "Ma'am, मैंने ये सब कर दिया है, ये हो गया है."
Okay.
मैंने बोला ठीक है. तो she said, आज ही hospital में admit होना. I knew she was pregnant. She told her. I said, ठीक है, तो तुम अभी क्यों phone कर रही हो? You relax. बोली ठीक है मैम, बस बताना था आपको. 3-4 hours later, her husband calls me and says she's delivered a baby boy. I said, मुझे कुछ समझ ही नहीं आया. She called me. She said, I get admitted 3-4 घंटे बाद she's delivered. And her husband laughed and said, "Ma'am, वो तो आज laptop लेके गई थी." I said, please take that laptop away. I don't want me to become the villain, Why is she working so much? She should not. So I know there are women who really, till their last minute, they are actually doing. I was so worried for her. Then don't get stressed. Just take it easy. But yeah.
Somehow I felt actually what happens is now you are a woman boss, but there are the clients we have, they are men at times. Then the people around us, most of them are men. So what happens is that they will not remember all the hard work that you have done. So, and a woman, she has to put in double of the effort.
Absolutely.
So somehow maybe that drives us that, you have to. That's why I finished all the files. And then I told my husband, I told him that I think...
Do you know this Gen Z lingo called mansplaining?
Yes. I have used this so many times. Because I remember I was arguing a matter. So there was this, he's a quite known lawyer. I will not take his name. So he started doing like this, and then he was like, stay silent, I will explain. I said, don't do mansplaining. I said, I know all this, what you are trying to do. My client, I will argue. I will defend. I will say whatever I want to.
Yeah.
Then the judge also understood. Justice Jashwant Parma was there. He told this person that Miss Wani will tell whatever she wants to. About your client, we will hear later on. So, this is too much. And in our profession, it's a lot of it. So you sometimes, get frustrated. You feel, what is wrong with me? Maybe, I'm not that good. You're not able to. But you have to tell yourself that no, whatever I want to explain, I can explain it better. Other person is not going to explain to her because she wants to say this. Oh, no, I don't want to say that.
Let me say what I want to say.
बहुत बार ऐसा हुआ है कि वो एक्सप्लेन कर जाते हैं कि जो मैं कहना चाह रही थी, तो मैं उसका रिवर्स बोल देती हूँ, नहीं आप गलत कह रहे हैं, मैं नहीं कह रही।
तो उनको आपने प्रूव कर दिया कि आप मुझे नहीं समझ सकते, मैं खुद ही समझा सकती हूँ जो मुझे बोलना है।
That is something which we should understand, that it is your father who has given you birth. He can say something to you, and not necessarily that you follow whatever he is saying, but yes, बहुत आराम से सुन लो. After that, there is no man whom you have to listen to or who can shut you down. No. Yes, your husband, you have to give respect. He will give you respect, because this is a relationship where only love will not allow you to sustain. It is respect also. But आप किसी को अपना मुंह बंद करने दे रहे हैं, then you are gone case. Then you are not fit for any of the professions. Then you can sit at home, not even for sitting.
So now let's talk about boys and girls, young boys and girls, जो profession को enter करने की ये आशा रख रहे हैं या सोच रहे हैं या enter कर चुके हैं. Just a quick word of advice कि वो अपनी careers को कैसे build करे.
See, I think this is a profession where brain and money goes together. The better brains, they're earning more. So therefore, once you join this profession, try to learn things. Don't go after money. Yes, I understand there are families who have spent a lot of money on the education of these kids. So for at least 3-4 years, don't think about money. You can actually recompensate and reimburse that to your parents at a later stage. Because until unless you learn something, then you are a gone case. Once you learn, then you're creating a place for yourself. Like I also started with a senior. My husband, though, he started independently. But there was a time after 4-5 years that I started independently, because my senior told me that the day you will leave this chamber, it would not be to join some other chamber, but it would be to start your own chamber. And it just happened, because he told me that you are the person who did not even ask me that how much I will pay you. For almost a year or two, I never even raised expenses. Yes, many people would say now that, because maybe my father was supporting and all that. ठीक है, कम खर्च करो आप. Father भी अगर आपको दे रहा है तो इतना भी pressure नहीं डालो, because once you are in this profession, you are almost more than 23. You are 23, almost 22, 23 तो हो ही गए होते हैं आप, तो अच्छा भी नहीं लगता है. To certain extent ठीक है, money is fine, but if you go only after that, then you won't learn. Because when you are after work, you will get different kind of work experience. You will have appearances in the court. You will meet people. So you will have a lot of exposure. Then you would definitely do wonders in this profession. But from day one, if you are after money, that they're paying me this much, they're paying that much, and it is only money, and then ultimately you won't be able to create something of your own. And money, it comes and you spend it. You have to make sort of yourself in a way that even if money is gone, you are able to create it further.
हाँ.
So that is अगर skill आप में आया.
Basically, work to learn and not for money. Very.
And once you, वो कहते हैं हमारे यहाँ कि जैसे अचार जब जम जाता है ना, बन जाता है, तो then फिर उसको कुछ नहीं, फिर आप उसको आराम से टेस्ट. सिमिलरली इन दिस प्रोफेशन फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 4-5 years आप अचार की तरह अगर आप पक गए ना, अच्छा हो गया. अगर in between if you will leave or you get frustrated or you will, like I told you, number of incidents where you feel that you're not going to sustain in this because money initially is very less. People will look down on you, whether you are a male or a female. It hardly matters. They will say, oh, well, this is very difficult because timing is too much, and then you have no personal life. All these things are realities. You can't have. For almost say 3, 4, 5 years in the beginning of my life, I was not on any of the social medias. No Facebook, no nothing. And my parents used to tell me that you come home only to sleep. And in the morning, we don't even see you going. No breakfast, no lunch, nothing. So I would say that these are bad habits. You should not get into that. But somehow, again, I will quote Shah Rukh Khan only, that he said that अगर आपको कोई ये कहता है कि आप जो है ना ज़्यादा टेंशन मत लीजिए, आराम से बैठिए, आप कामयाब हो जाएंगे, तो वो झूठ कह रहे हैं आपसे. Because there are so many people with the fire and the passion that they do not sleep, they work. तो आप बैठे हुए सोच रहे हो कि आपको मिल जाएगा. Yes, opportunities, it's all in the God's hand. But hard work you have to put.
Yeah.
My
I
father,
like Shah Rukh Khan's quote that first become rich, then become a philosopher.
Yes.
तो पहले हार्ड वर्क करके वहां तक पहुंच जाओ, फिर फिलोसोफर बन जाओ कि अब हो चुका है.
My father actually once told me that, yes, you believe in God, believe in Allah, whomsoever you believe in. But at the same time, you cannot leave your hard work and you will say that, Allah will do everything. He will do everything for you. But even Allah says that work is worship. You have to work. जब आप हरकत में ही बरकत है या करोगे नहीं, that goes for females and men, both. I would also talk about this very important issue where, we have this, because every woman has, every month we have periods. Okay, some have very painful periods, some have very normal periods. Yes, at times it's very important that you should take rest. But there are times when you should not. What I feel is that we should not take it as a ground where we do not want to work, using it as this thing. Yes, men should be sensitive enough to understand that if a female is into pain and all that, because it's not a very easy thing or a small thing. But uska aap misuse bhi karte ho. That should not be there. I have seen it with number of people. It should not be done. But men should be sensitive, because many a times there is a issue, there is a problem. That is why there is this now issue that menstrual leave should be there and all that.
Yeah. Do you believe that should be there?
See, I right now do not have an opinion about it. But yes, there are days, when a woman is not in a position to really deliver. So we should be sensitive enough to understand that. But having leaves, yes, of course, if there is a female who has undergone miscarriage, she should be given sort of a maternity leave only. Because same process, everything is there. Only the child is absent. And depression comes more to the females who have lost child. So I think that should be given when, with this miscarriage and all that happens. As far as menstrual leaves, I think some conditional, yes, it should be there, but conditional
limited
number. Yes.
Okay, now we'll come to the last segment, which is a rapid fire round. इस पे हम आपको क्वेश्चन करेंगे और आपको जल्दी से बिना सोच के आंसर देना है without being politically correct.
Okay.
Okay. And you'll have to answer in few words. ठीक है. So very quickly, let's start the rapid fire round. The first question, your favorite judge?
Justice Shakdar. He is retired recently, but he has been my favorite.
Your favorite lawyer?
My favorite lawyer. See, there have been number of lawyers, but my senior, Mr. Mukund, he has been a favorite. And Mr. Arun Jaitley, I have seen him. He used to remember and something, just in minutes he used to just come up with some citations. So even Mr. Sham Diwan is there. But Mr. Arun Jaitley, I have been always in awe of him.
Okay. Yes. Your favorite legal movie or book?
A book is Balanced by Justice Leela Seth, because that is somehow related to my profession also. So, you see, because you asked me in the beginning, favorite judge, there are so many female judges in High Court who I am very fond of. तो उसका तुम controversial कर दिया. Favorite legal movie as such तो नहीं है, but there is this some web series, I don't remember its name now.
अभी बहुत सारा हो गया.
बहुत सारा.
Mind.
हिंदी I do not watch. Sorry.
Okay.
No. Somehow. हाँ, अभी वो एक आया है लीगल मामला.
हाँ, मामला है.
मामला लीगल है. So the girl therein, she was my senior in college, Nidhi Bisht. She was 1 year senior to me in college, and she was amazing in studies also. But she always used to do that natak and all that. So that is with Ravi Kisan, na Ravi Kisan. That web series I watched because my senior was there in it. So that's, otherwise I only go for the rest of
normal ones. Your favorite kind of cases to handle?
Favorite kind of cases. See, cases which actually give me kick. You know, where I am clueless that what I am going to argue, but something comes out and then, you know, you get favorite.
Which sector of law?
Mostly it's constitutional or civil or even related to the children also, because I want to do a lot for the children. My heart pains when I see these children who are begging on the streets. I try to do a little bit for them through my law firm, but the cases where I get involved for them, they really give me that kick.
Okay. Yeah. And one word of advice, one word for the young lawyers.
Enjoy.
Enjoy the pain.
You have to enjoy whatever is there.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we can wrap up this session, and thank you so much. Advocate on record, Firdause Quth Wani, for taking the time out and talking to our listeners.
This is wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.